Hey guys, this is Patrick Sessoms with Due South Outfitters, fly fishing guide service and fly shop in Boone, North Carolina. Today I wanted to tie a sulphur with you. Previously I've tied a blue wing pattern that I really like fishing in the wintertime, and this is a variation of that little blue wing pattern, but I'm going to tie it in sulphur colors. You know, typically around May roughly we'll start to see some sulphurs show up over in the tailwaters in Tennessee. So I thought it'd be pretty pertinent for you guys to learn that too on top of a blue wing. Nonetheless, let's get started. So my hook and bead, let's start with that. The hook we're going to use today, pretty simple hook. It's an Allen W502 in size 16. This is a little larger than the blue wing. I tie my blue wings in 20s. This is 16. You could tie this in an 18. You could even try it in a 14. I found the 16 to be really worthwhile. And the bead is just a simple, it's an Allen 2mm black nickel tungsten bead. So, alright, first thing we're going to talk about our thread. So, we're going to use kind of like a light brownish color. This is a Vivus 10-aught thread. It's going to be a kind of skinny profile on this fly. We're going to use some pheasant tail. It's like this, just regular pheasant tail. Some super fine wire in a copper color. And then we're going to have a little bit of pale yellow dry fly dubbing as well. So these materials are really simple. Pretty much everybody should have this stuff in their kit. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and wrap our body here with this brown thread just down to the hook shank here. Right about where it starts to bend. I'm going to go ahead and break my tying thread off there. I'm going to get a little piece of wire here, y'all. I'm going to wrap some of this copper wire in. Well, if I can do it. There we go. Okay, I'm going to come back up to the bead here. I'm going to go back down just to secure that wire there. Now, I'm going to cut off a few clumps of pheasant tail. You know, on this fly, I don't mind doing, say, 5 to 6 fibers. So I'm going to cut off about 5 to 6 pheasant tail fibers here. I'm going to tease them back. And we're going to tie these in at the bend of that hook here. Just like so. There we go. Now, I kind of got a little long with my tail here, so I'm going to pull this tail up just a little bit before we keep going. There we are. Now, I'm going to wrap my thread up toward the bead here, over my pheasant tail. That'll do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and break my pheasant tail fibers off, and we're going to put a rib on this fly with this copper wire. Just going to rib it up the fly shank here, or the hook shank, up to the bead. And go ahead and tack this wire down with a few thread wraps, and we go ahead and clip that wire off. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here and let you guys get a view of what this looks like. So you can see we've got bead body made out of just our thread. Then we've got our pheasant tail hanging out the back. Now for the last step, we're going to use this super fine pale yellow dry fly dubbing. We're going to dub a little thorax here, guys. So I'm going to pick a little bit out. There we go. And this can be fairly skinny. You don't need a whole lot here, but there we go. So we've got our dubbing noodle on. I'm going to go ahead and slide it up a little bit. And we're just going to go ahead and wrap this around behind the bead. Well, I kind of got a little fat there. Let me take some of this dubbing off. It's way too much, actually. There we go. So we've got our dubbing noodle. I'm going to go ahead and just wrap that noodle around to build up a little thorax right behind the bead. Bingo. You're done. Now all we have to do is whip finish and the fly's done. There we have it. So that's a sulphur version of that little skinny blue wing we've tied in the past. You know, really the only thing we've changed up is our thread color. and our dubbing color. But other than that, it's virtually the same size. Oh yeah, we also changed the size of our hook, which, you know, silver nymphs are typically a little bit larger than a blue wing. But this fly is actually pretty effective. Tie it up, give it a shot, see how it does.